Ah, K'nekotein, you're just in time to assist with my latest fact-finding expedition. Our recent foray into Sharlayan revealed that Pew Pew's friend was in the company of a Hannish alchemist, yes. As such, I was inspired to do some preliminary legwork here in Thavnair. I contacted my usual sources for local sightings of alien phenomena, but alas, they had none to share. I have thus switched tactics and decided to track down this alchemist fellow instead. Surely someone will have heard the tale of an apothecary bold enough to set up shop on a Gallian battlefield. The inspector and the others have been pursuing a similar line of inquiry, yet have found no leads here in the city or at the Great Work. I believe they've moved their investigation to Yedlihmad, so I suggest we hurry over and join them. I cannot have that little blue man muddying the waters when we're so close to grasping his master plan.
This port town would be an excellent place to analyze global trading trends.
Oh, my friend is an exceptional individual, capable of astounding feats that I could never accomplish without the help of my starship's equipment.
What else can you tell us about your long-lost comrade, Master Poo Poo?
I see the two of you are eager as ever to observe my inspectorial genius at work. Ah, the long-term fans are often the most ardent.
As a matter of fact, we were just about to continue our investigation into the alchemist we know to have been traveling with Master Poo Poo's comrade. I mean, that is to say, I am merely following in the inspector's wake.
You needn't be so modest, my dear Inspector Brandy Hill.
'Tis wrong of me to comport myself as an equal to you all in any respect. For I am but a copy, and a flawed one at that.
Stuff and nonsense. Clone or not, self-deprecation is unbecoming in a Manderville man.
Exactly. The things you can do are amazing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
'Twas you who saved K'nekotein from certain doom, was it not? While not quite as alacritous as mine, your rapid reasoning is nevertheless quite effective.
'Tis kind of you to accept me, rough edges and all. I only hope my meager contributions are of some small assistance.
Too modest by half. I'd say his mental faculties far surpass those of the original.
That's enough chin-wagging amongst ourselves, I think. Let us spread out and learn what the locals know of this adventurous apothecary.
How fare your inquiries?
If I may, are you perchance acquainted with any reckless alchemists?
ZZZ. Inspector Brandy Hild. A blocky man of quality,
Yes, I know the one of whom you speak. A fellow fisherman told me of a friend of his, an apothecary, who set off for war-torn Garlemald to sell his medicines. A reckless fool, if you ask me. I've no interest in the affairs of such men. But you do, I take it. If so, suggest you head to Asakiak and hear the tale for yourself. Look for a red-haired lad there gathering shellfish.
Perhaps if I emulated Inspector Hildibrand's cavalier attitude, I could be of greater use in our investigations.
How glorious that the markets are bustling again. I'll need to sell a mountain of our finest silks to make up for all this wasted time.
Do I know any apothecaries? In Radz at Han? Of course, more than I can count. I've not heard tell of anyone peddling such goods in the heart of the Empire, though. Seems like a terrible idea to me, what with civil war raging and the world almost ending. The situation's improved in recent days, but even so, the Radiant Host still has to provide security for cargo shipments. A lone merchant trading there alone. Impossible.
Inspector Brandyhild is possessed of a brilliant mind. If he were willing to work for the Thavnairian truth, I'd employ him in a heartbeat.
I know of many merchants who travel abroad to ply their wares, but none who have business in Garlemald. You'd have to be mad or desperate indeed to consider setting up shop in that troubled land. I mean, word is we've signed some kind of trade agreement with the Garleans, but it's still not the kind of place where one simply wanders in and opens a street stall.
ZZZ. Inspector Brandyhild. A blocky man of quality.
How fare your inquiries?
Ah, K'nekotein. I hope your questioning has borne fresher fruit than mine. Oh ho, a good friend of the alchemist in question, you say? Then let us gather the troops and pay a visit to this felicitous fisherman.
The story of my apothecary friend. Oh, you must mean Baharazov. Well, I was near enough to calling it a day anyway, so here's what I can tell you. Baharazov comes from a very poor family and, growing up, never had much in the way of money or possessions. I suppose those experiences are what led to his lifelong obsession with gaining wealth. After trying his hand at a succession of trades, he decided alchemy would earn him the most gil, but his stock never sold as well as he hoped. So when he heard about the internal strife in Garlemald, he saw it as a golden opportunity. Surely the middle of a war was the best place to sell medicines. More like the best place for near-death experiences. He soon gave up on his Garlemald venture, but while one would have expected him to return lamenting his ill fortune, Baharazarf was practically euphoric when I saw him again. A God's-given blessing he'd found in the snowfield S had given him. Much cause to celebrate. He said he'd learned how to create gold. I must admit, I laughed at first. But then he showed me a gleaming mountain of the stuff, enough to proclaim himself a merchant prince. He even changed his name to Van Hoody, a word which brings to mind the bounty of the divine.
A name I have heard. He's the rising star in the markets, is he not? The one snapping up commercial ventures left and right?
Yes, Van Hoody has certainly made his ambitions known here in Thavnair, especially when he attempted to purchase the entire port of Yedlihmad. The dockmasters declined to sell, of course, but when it comes to buying historic landmarks, a bottomless purse can open surprising doors. Last I heard, he'd converted the Gilded Era into a private abode, and has been filling it with every rare treasure his gold can secure. He pays out particularly large sums for artworks depicting the goddess Asura. I remember him being a fervent worshipper of hers, even as a child.
I have encountered much Manusia and Runalo in Radz at Han, yet I recall no mention of this Asura.
Well, that's hardly surprising. As a deity of war, she is not well loved by the common folk. Baharazarf is different, though. He sees life as a constant battle to amass wealth, and it is to Asura whom he prays for victory. And damn me if she didn't listen. That once poor boy became merchant royalty, a man far too rich and important now to afford more than a fleeting moment for simple fishermen, even those who were once dear friends. Ahem. If you'll excuse me, I really must leave it at that. These clams won't sell themselves, you know.
How about that, eh? Our sought-after apothecary and the upstart merchant prince were one and the same.
Might we assume the blessing he stumbled upon in Yedlihmad was a certain alien craft and its occupant?
Sorry to intrude, but aren't you the hero who helped us when folk were turning into beasts? Well, some nasty-looking creature just showed up outside town. One of our guards went to confront it, but I don't like her odds against that thing.
This sounds like a case for Inspector Hildibrand. Come, friends, let us investigate forthwith.
I thought you destroyed that monster.
I have the situation under control, citizens. This individual bears a strong resemblance to a known fugitive, so I thought it prudent to investigate. Regrettably, he has proven less than forthcoming with answers.
How many times must we teach you the same lesson, shiny skull man?
Lesson? What are you on about? Bah, cease this babbling and get out of my way. Lord Van Hoody's orders are to cause trouble at the port, and I'm running behind schedule.
Van Hoody? The merchant who tried to buy Yedlihmad? So he put you up to this?
Curses. How did you manage to deduce our dastardly plan? You blurted it out. Silence. No one who learns of our scheme can be suffered to live. Prepare to be squashed, meddlesome worms.
3 more sinister skull men. Was the doctor a quadruplet? Mother?
Vexatious vermin. This will soften you up. A lucky hit. One last pitch.
I've come to expect father's sudden appearances, but what brings you here, mother?
A proposition from that merchant Van Hoody, as a matter of fact. I'm accompanying your dad as a manager for Mandeville and Mandeville, and we were just on our way to the bloke's mansion.
I've already refused Master Van Hoody once before when he tried to buy out our commercial empire. This time, however, the deal concerns offloading a quantity of gold at wholesale prices. 'Tis quite an attractive offer considering fine jewelry is our stock in trade, and we thought to at least listen to his proposal. But if he would purposefully command his lackeys to disturb the peace of a public port.
We can't do business with a thug like that. Absolutely not.
Where did all those lackeys come from in the first place? Is there a hulking weaponized brute manufactory around here somewhere? As I suspected. My ship's vaporization beam is configured to expunge only replicated matter. So you can copy inorganic materials as well. How interesting.
Once the matter duplication facility has analyzed an object's molecular structure, it can generate any number of copies. Yet it cannot create matter from nothing. A requisite supply of ether must be on hand to facilitate the process.
COR, you sure do know a lot about a lot, Inspector Brandy Hild. Even alien starships.
"'Tis no great achievement. As I have mentioned, the gaps in my knowledge were patched with data from the starship's own archives, which included the vessel's full schematics and functions.
Assuming I understand this correctly, is it possible Van Hoody is using the repaired alien craft to replicate piles and piles of gold?
We share the same suspicion, Master Delion. To my knowledge, no other method exists that can reliably produce precious metals."
Of course. 'Tis the obvious conclusion. That being the case, one might further assume that Van Hoody is either threatening or deceiving Master Poo-Poo's comrade in order to gain access to the vessel's superior technology. Our course of action is clear. We march right up to this gold spawner's front door and demand the release of his extraterrestrial hostage.
I was hesitant to put stock in the unsavory rumors I'd heard, but this unprovoked attack on the port would seem to be incontrovertible proof of Van Hoody's villainy.
Good to see you, K'nekotein. And good to see you're still keeping company with our darling boy. That blocky lad a new friend of yours. Smooth off the edges and he'd be the spit-in image of our Hildy.
The inspector's mother is as monstrously strong as the Mandeville men. Except, that doesn't make any sense. All this talk of threats and deceit has me worried.
I am given to understand that, while identical in appearance, the craft belonging to Master Poo-Poo's comrade is equipped with more advanced technology.
That was a smashing hit, K'nekotein.
We must confront this malicious merchant at once.
If your heart's set on confrontation, then you may as well come with us. Van Hoody's invitation included a private airship flight to his new estate.
We still need to formally reject his deal anyways, and his pilot will be waiting.